Hey guys, and welcome to All the Mods 8 or All the Mods 9 progression log 8, I should say. Um, excuse me. So I don't have as much to show you this week, but I do have some stuff to show you from the previous week. As the previous week I was just kind of all over the place. I'm very sorry. There was some things that I hadn't written down on my list that I missed that I should have remembered. But we'll get to that when we get that. I'm gonna try and go through the whole base a little bit more orderly. So like last week, these drawers are still removed. I haven't gotten around to removing these ones yet, but what I did do is, if you guys remember, during a couple weeks ago, how I set up like a drive array with another AE system in order to manage those drives much easier, and wirelessly, I should say. I did the same thing over here. So this is the selected. We have actually wireless terminals as well for all of these things. We have the ore processing drive array, the primary storage array. That's this one. This is unfiltered drives at lowest at minus 1,000 priority. So stuff goes here last. It gets taken from here first. This is sort of like I treat this like the working memory. If you pull stuff out of other buffers, it'll probably be put here. But if it's needed somewhere else, it'll get pulled from here first. We have the petrochemical storage array, which is in the petrochem area, and we have the selective storage drive array, or my SSDs. um, these are basically just drawers, like before. It's the ones that are already pre-partitioned and stuff, and have overflow destruction cards in most cases. Um, so yeah, so this has been a very nice. There's a couple of other places I can do this too, but these were the most completed drive areas. Uh, let's see. Over here, I don't think I've really changed anything. Um, yeah, nothing's really too different over here. I do have I put Skystone on passive a little while ago. I don't exactly remember how long ago I did that. Because you need that for like 256K plus storage cells. So like I make like 16K, 16384K storage drives for like really big bulk storage, because the 500,000 is just not enough. Over here, I did rebuild chemical crystallizers. As if we pull up slurry, we do have a little bit of other slurry. This was because I accidentally hand mined some more at some point. I don't know where I got. Oh, I was removing some old quarries from other people who don't play anymore, and they had some ore in there, so that's why we have that slurry. But the slurries, because we don't mine with digital miners anymore, so we don't get most of the iron that would have most of the ore that would have gone into this mechanism or processing. The exceptions to that are we still get zinc, we still get osmium, we still get nickel and uranium. I believe we get nickel. Maybe we don't actually, but we get uranium, osmium, and zinc for sure. We get a lot of that. We have, as you can see, a full drive's worth of both dirty zinc and dirty osmium slurry, and almost a full drive for of clean osmium slurry. So I've trying to make it so we consume this stuff faster. Oh, I think did I mess this up? Yes. Output auto eject on. Okay, I'll fix this in a minute. That's why it was so slow. Okay, that makes sense. I was trying to figure out why it was so slow, and I guess I just missed that. Um, so I'm trying to hopefully that'll process those kinds of ores quicker, because man, we have a lot of that stuff. Um, Over here, I do actually want to talk about this farm. So this is the kind of point in the mod pack. One of the reasons why I don't have too much stuff to show you guys this week is I've been kind of finding myself a little bit like lost. Like there's tons of stuff to do, right? I have a huge list of things to do. And we're actually gonna go ahead and show playtime here while I remember, because I forgot to do it 2 times in a row. Please forgive me. Um, Time played is 15.23 days, and if you give me a moment, I will pull up my calculator and I will tell you how many hours that is. That is 365 and a half hours. So I've put more time into this server than some people put into video games, and some than I put into entire video games. I love Helldivers 2, and I have like 220 hours in that, for example. And I've only been playing this server for like 2 months. So, I've put a lot of time into modded Minecraft. It's like my thing, you know? But I am getting to the point in a pack. I usually always get to this point at some point or another, where I'm kind of there's only like really big things to do. And I'm not really sure exactly what I should do first, because they all need to get done, and I kind of just throw my hands up in the air and go play something else. Because, I haven't putting a lot of time into this. So, I've been taking a lot of breaks this week. Yesterday I didn't really play too much. The day before that I didn't play too much either. And then Sunday and Monday I usually don't play Minecraft anyway. Um, Anyway, but I do want to talk about the farm here. So if I'm gonna go ahead and do Forge TPS here, and you guys see right now it's actually okay. We're around to like 35 to 40. When there's two people on, like, so Syrai, you guys have seen him. He has a base in space now, specifically in orbit. So when he's on now, the mean tick time is around like 45. It's a little bit better now. It's just me, and I guess the server will restart in like 20 minutes. Oh, okay. Gotta hurry this up then. So like the TPS is a little bit better now, but sometimes it can get like pretty bad to the point where we're probably gonna start seeing slowdowns fairly soon, especially if there's just more than me on. And part of the problem actually is XNet is the exact opposite of how I remember it in other versions. So we have this whole farm here runs off one main XNet controller. So all three of these pads are like let me I think it's here. I didn't build this, so I don't really know too much about it. But I do know that this is a big source of TPS lag. Here we go. As in, this controller over here controls all three farms, and this thing alone eats 1.8 milliseconds per tick. So it's a significant performance consumer. Uh, I'm really surprised XNet's this bad. Like, I'm used to XNet being really stable, really powerful, really flexible, and really lag friendly. And on this version of the pack, or this version of the mod, it is unstable. It's still like, you know, helpful, I think, in some instances, but it is unstable and it is lag intensive, way more than I expected it to be. So I have to pull XNet out of here to save that performance because I kind of do want to save it. It's a significant performance increase. So I'll have to figure out a way of doing this, and this is going to be an absolute pain in the ass. Like, I can either just sort of partially rebuild it with like using some subnets and stuff. If I ever do it that way, I'll explain more. Or I could, rebuild entirely and do it like how Syrai did. His farm was like stupid fast, like 1,000 times faster than ours, and I'm not even kidding. It was insane. So like do something like that or whatever. But I don't know. There's just I just don't really want to do it. Again, that's the kind of problem. I've 300 almost 360 hours in this world so far, and you know, it's just the way it is. I'll get back to it eventually, I'm sure. Some other stuff I did do the week before was I upgraded the distilling. So this used to be a distillation tower for distilled water for the ore baths, and I upgraded this one to a large fractioning distillery. This is just the paralyzed version of the distillation tower. So this thing is doing 4 recipes at once. I can swap this out for in a master one and do 16 at a time, but it's fine. I don't really want to spend a master one on that. This one is another one for lightly cracked steam and steam cracked light fuel and refinery gas. This just processes that stuff. I really need to get separate distillation towers for this. It's another thing that I have to do eventually. TM. Always tons of stuff to do. Here is the actual petrochemical driver array. It works exactly as how the ore processing one does. And we can come over here and petrochemical here, and we can look at all the different fluid drives we have. So this is nice. They're not really on subnets too, so this really isn't like specifically necessary to keep these things apart. Because before I did it this way because when I wanted to put partition drives, I wanted them on site so I could do it easier and quicker. But there's no subnets. Minus there's a few exceptions to that. Well, which we'll get to. We should probably actually get to now. We'll get to it after over here. There's not too much over here. I've just been no big changes, just adding a few more machines in some places for some various components, like some samarium stuff over here. Yep, see I got the 10-minute counter. Hopefully I can get this done. The wire mills are Ivy, but they've been Ivy for a while. I did replace the EV benders, but I think that was last week as well. Yeah, there hasn't been too much stuff going on in this section over here. Over here, actually, we can go ahead and take a look at my list. Yeah, so I did make the master control hatches. That was fun. That's done. I did that. Oh yeah, we'll get to Asline. Steam's fine. Oh well, some multi-block stuff, and we do have ZPM circuits. I also did rebuild these using laser IO. Laser IO, these things have been eating a lot of TPS as well, but they're also stupidly fast, so I'm okay with that. Like, honestly, after a certain point, you just have to go, you can't minimize lag anymore, and that's just the way, Java was never meant for this. I don't know what Java was meant for, but it wasn't meant for this. These three baths here do sodium persulfate, and we don't really have that much anymore. Sodium persulfate. Yeah, we're down. We had 22,000 buckets when I set this up, and now we're down to 8,600. I have to go ahead and upgrade the production for that because I literally haven't touched it since I set it up, since LV for gallium. It's just been, we had a massive stockpile, and I have to go upgrade that. I do want to move these chemical baths, these hydrochloric acid ones as well. I've stopped washing platinum with mercury. One, because I really don't want to spend the chemical baths on that. Because look at how much palladium dust we have. We have 166 palladium dust, and we have 210,000 raw palladium powder. And this just gets processed 1-to-1 to palladium. I think it's 1-to-1. No, it's 5-to-1. But still, that's another, like, 40,000. 40,000 palladium or so. So we have a lot of palladium, so I don't really need to wash platinum for more palladium dust. Maybe I'll turn it on at a later date, but for now I was kind of hoping I could, quickly pull some stuff off here so I can put some LCRs there, specifically to process raw palladium powder. Other thing here is we do have these centrifuges and a sifter here. The sifter setup, it's still too slow. It does 16 recipes at a time every 3 seconds, so it's better than it was before, especially since I get better chances because it's a higher tier recipe, but it's still pretty slow. Fortunately, it does just keep on going, so that's fine. The centrifuges are also, pretty slow. Uh, Metal mixture dust takes just a absolute forever to process. LUV, which was how we're processing it, is 12.5 seconds. And the other thing is, it won't do 16 at a time. It just won't work. It'll only do 20 up to 9 at a time, and I don't know why. So, that's, like, I have to rebuild these centrifuges here to make sure it's like round robin, because they are kind of the bottleneck in many cases. It does annoy me. However, over here, holy crap, with all of these master parallel control hatches, these things are so goddamn fast. So anything that goes down the general route of wash, thermal, crush, or just thermal and crush, so like, there's a lot of things that do that. That stuff gets processed lightning fast. It's actually insane. We went through, so bauxite goes through here, actually, and it's even faster over here. And we processed about, like, I think like 100,000 bauxite in like 30 minutes or something. I forget how fast it was, but we went through our entire stockpile. I can actually go ahead and show you our stockpile of ore. It's way smaller now. We had 115,000 nether quartz a while ago. I don't know how long it's been processing that, but like, this is it. This is all the ore. You guys saw how much ore we had before, and this is a lot. It just boils down to I have to get around to just filtering all this crap. Like, I have to just, go through all these interfaces and filter it and put drives in, so it's very time consuming. So I just have to go ahead and do that, and then we just don't have an ore backlog anymore. So it's great. It's fantastic. I do want to mention, though, that I've actually had to maintain a couple of these. There we go. That one's fine. I've had to actually, like, a couple of these things have tape now because I think they just have to process a certain number of items, and then they have a maintenance issue, which makes sense because those thermal centrifuges have processed literally millions of items. I'm not even kidding. It's actually fantastic. Over here, we've replaced some stuff. I replaced assemblers and benders with the multi-block version. So over here, we have the assembler multi-block. It's a little bit of a mess over here. And this is what I was talking about with the asterisk on subnets, is these are technically subnets. This is how it works. You put a pattern into an interface, and it dumps it into the input bus and output bus using storage buses, and that just automatically stores them. Over here, this is the assembly line, by the way. I have two here. I have one that can do 6 items and 4 fluids, and one that can do 8 items and 4 fluids. These actually were not that bad. This was once again a case of me looking at GTNH and going, oh no, it's so bad. And then me playing not GTNH and going, wow, that wasn't so bad. Because it wasn't GTNH. And that's something I do every single time. And right here, all you have to do to set it up is like I did over there before, this is a subnet. We have storage buses on each individual input bus and then on the quadruple input hatch. Uh, then we have just the interface here and the extended pattern provider. And the blocking mode on this one is already smart. So when the pattern provider is looking into an interface that is unmodified, meaning no filters here, it will treat this as like a solid inventory. So it'll watch blocking mode and it goes, oh, there's something in there? Okay, well, I can't put anything in there anymore. I was kind of worried about that with blocking mode, and I was going to try and have to figure something else about it. But they added that to the base Platter Logistics. So this was literally 5 minutes of setup. I spent more time building it than just, throwing down the cables, hooking it up, bam, Bob's your uncle. It works. Over here, just the bender. This is just a multi-block bender. It's much, much faster. It's very nice because plates were one of the biggest bottlenecks in on-demand crafts recently, and I'm glad to have that solved. Over here, we have ZPM circuits right here. We don't have them on passive totally because HSSG frames aren't on passive because I don't really want to make too many of these mainframes because they're super expensive. So I don't really want to put HSSG on passive, the frames on passive, because I don't want to put. These things aren't going to be around for forever. So I can have the machine, like the computer, just craft like a bunch of frames all at once. Like, oh, we have HSSG here, 200. Okay, and that'll be enough. So I've just been kind of keeping an eye on that and just making sure that we have enough for that. Over here, I don't think I've made any significant changes. I've added HSSG and HSSS actually. Here's HSSE as well. We have samarium ingots. We have HSSS. I don't know where I put HSSG. It's somewhere around, I'm sure. Well, it is because I have it somewhere. Yeah. So that's about it for over there. I never actually got around to using these new districts, by the way, because I was going to put assembly line over here, and then went, wait, this is on-demand stuff, and I have room for on-demand stuff over here, so I built it over here. Hopefully I won't need too many more, but I probably will need a bunch. We're almost out of time here. So what I am going to do over here, though, is probably put some deep mob learning, because I want to put quantum stars on passive. And they require nether stars. So I'm going to do that through hostile neural networks, also known as deep mod learning, whatever version you want to call it. So this is something I'll have to do as well. There's just, a bajillion things I have to do. I've processed small piles already. You guys have, seen about everything. Wrong button. I did actually move this cable up. Because before it was a little bit weird how it went over like this and then popped up each time, and I didn't like the way it looked. So we're doing it this way instead. I think it looks a little bit nicer this way. At least it bothers me less. I did add an osmium compressor over here in a super scuffed way, and I feel bad about it, but I'm never over here, so I don't really care. Because I needed more refined obsidian ingots for all the chemical crystallizers I was making. Well, anyway, I've rambled for so long, the server is about to turn off. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all again next week.